understand. You're a perfect man. Got the whole world in your hands, but you still reaching out for me. Ooh, wow, why you love me too?
What's up, beautiful people? I am Ray Christine. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel and this series that I like to call Bible Talk. We are in episode 3 of Bible Talk, and if you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe and share and like and comment. Do whatever it is that you feel the need to do. But if you are not new here, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 3, for staying with me for 3 episodes. Yes. I'm going to continue to post these videos. Y'all can comment what y'all would like to hear, any stories that y'all want me to do. Go ahead and put them in the comment section. But I really enjoy telling these stories. I really enjoy sharing just God's word, and I hope that you guys are receiving good vibes from me, good vibes from this video and whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this episode of Bible Talk. So today we're going to be in John chapter 11, and John chapter 11 is basically the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. Now, many of you know this is the last miracle that Jesus performs before he's arrested. We all know what happens after he gets arrested, but this is the miracle that happens right before he is arrested. So to give you a little context about who Lazarus is a good friend of Jesus, and he's also the brother, I was about to say sister, he's also the brother of Martha and Mary. Now, this is not the Mary, this is not Jesus' mother Mary. This is another Mary. Y'all know the story of Mary when she washes Jesus' feet with her tears. Yeah, this is the Mary that we're talking about. So he is Jesus' friend, and he's also the brother of Martha and Mary. So the story starts off, Jesus is somewhere and he's ministering, he's doing what he does best, he's healing, he's, you know what I'm saying, he's doing his thing. And someone comes to him and says, Jesus, the one you love, is sick. So Jesus tells the person, whoever this person is, he says, this sickness will not end in death, but is for the glory of God, so that God's Son may be glorified through it. Now, I'm pretty sure whoever this person was, and they're getting this message from Jesus, they were probably like, okay, so does that mean you coming or not? So Jesus goes back to doing what he was doing before, and he stays in the place that he was for 2 days. So after the 2 days, he goes to the disciples and he's like, hey y'all, our friend Lazarus is sleeping and we gotta go wake him up. So y'all, come on, get yourselves ready so we can go. Now the disciples at this point, they are like, say what? Why do we have to go back over there? The same place where when we was over there, they were literally trying to kill you, Jesus. They were trying to off you. Okay, so why do we have to go back over there? So the disciples replied to him and they're like, well, Jesus, if Lazarus is asleep, like, you should just let him get his rest, because I don't think that would be a good idea to wake that man up and he's sleeping. Personally, I feel like the disciples were a little scared to go back because they assumed that them going back and, you know, when everybody got word that they were back, they were going to die and Jesus was going to be killed. So that was one of the reasons I feel personally why they were so much like, well, if he's asleep, just let him, you know, go and get his rest. Jesus tells them straight out, like, no, Lazarus is dead and I need to go wake him up. And for your sake, I'm glad I was not there so that you may believe. Now at this point, the disciples are frightened and they literally feel like they are walking straight into a death trap. One of the disciples, Thomas, even says in verse 16, let us go so that we may die with him. So I'm just assuming that they just knew it was going to be over with, them going back to this place, and they were just like, let us just go ahead and just let's just go with him. And they had no clue what Jesus was doing or what he was talking about, but Jesus was about to make it all make sense. So they get back to where Lazarus is, and at this point, Lazarus has been dead for 4 days, y'all. They done wrapped him up. They done put fragrances on him, put him in a cave. Child, Jesus done missed the funeral, the burial, and the repast. Okay, he late, so they think. So one of my favorite parts of this story is Martha and Mary, they hear that Jesus is back, and Martha runs out to find Jesus, but Mary stays at home. And Martha sees Jesus, and immediately she falls to her knees and she says to him, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. But I still believe that God can do anything. See, even though Lazarus had been dead for days, Martha still believed, and she still had the faith, even if it was as small as a mustard seed. See what I did there? She believed that God still could do anything. But Mary, I believe, was disappointed. Haven't we all been like Mary before? That whenever something does not happen when we want it to happen, or whenever God doesn't answer our prayers when we want God to answer our prayers, we get disappointed and we stay back, or we stop praying, or we stop talking to him. When our situation looks bleak, instead of running to God like Martha did, we give up and stay back like Mary did. Now, Mary eventually comes out to Jesus and she says, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. And Jesus, at this point, he looks around and he sees the hurt that everybody's feeling from Lazarus' death. And Jesus wept. I feel like in this moment when Jesus wept, he's looking around and he's seeing that everybody's hurt. This is him tapping into more of his human side, and it shows that he has a heart for us and he really cares for us. And that's just my personal opinion, but I really like that part because it makes me feel that Jesus knows exactly how we feel when we're hurt. He hurts. So to end this story, Jesus goes to the tomb where Lazarus is and he tells everybody to take the stone away. Now they're kind of like, well, why would we rip the stone away? He's probably reeking because he's dead. But they do it. They take the stone away, and with a loud voice, Jesus says, Lazarus, come out. Y'all, and Lazarus comes out. The people who saw this were amazed, y'all, and they went out and they were telling people what they saw and the miracle that Jesus had performed. Y'all, people were coming to see Lazarus. They were coming to Martha and Mary's place. They just wanted to get a good look at this man because they just could not believe what they had heard. I just want to note that everyone that had experienced this miracle and had saw what Jesus had done went out and told everybody. And we all know that word travels like wildfires, okay? And everybody had known about this story, known about this miracle, even the people who hated Jesus. Now, I don't necessarily have a takeaway from this story, but I want to challenge you. Going back on what we talked about with Martha versus Mary's response when they found out that Jesus was in their presence, I want to challenge you that whenever you're faced with hardship or whenever you're praying for something and it doesn't happen in the time frame that you want it to happen, or you feel like God is not listening to you, instead of staying back and giving up, run to him, talk to him, keep praying, never stop praying, because in due season you shall reap. That is all the time I have today. See you guys soon.
Instead of changing, he's making